All right. So Gay, you'll start since you're the silver. It's silver's at the front. So just start when you're ready, and when you're done, then I'll take over and introduce the episode.
Okay. So do you want me to say the welcome to?
No, the sponsor spot comes before any of our stuff.
Okay.
Comes before the music even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'd like to thank Merry Dance for helping to sponsor this, our anniversary episode. Merry Dance is not your typical sex toy store. It's run by a husband and wife team, and it sells most of the higher quality toys and marital aids that other adult shops carry. This shop doesn't contain any nudity or porn, and its product descriptions are marriage-centered and include helpful information that suggests how each item can be used to aid intimacy during foreplay or while making love. Check out our show notes for a link to their online store. And thanks, Merry Dance.
Welcome to the 5th anniversary episode of Sex Chat for Christian Wives.
Wow. We're 5 already?
We are 5 already. And isn't it
5 years old?
5 years old. That's right. And isn't it so appropriate that the anniversary, the traditional anniversary gift for 5 years is wood?
Oh, Bonnie, that
my
was
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So you are in for so many treats today.
Yeah. That's just a little foretaste of what's to come.
Okay.
So, yes. So because okay, let me get my thoughts. You can edit this. With over 1 million downloads, there has to be something other than just sexual intimacy knowledge that draws our listeners to us. And what we've heard over and over again is our true camaraderie, our true feelings of warmth and friendship for each other as we invite you to the virtual kitchen table to sit in on these conversations with us. So as a gift to you this episode, we are going to share our bloopers.
Yes. Yeah, we're pulling back the curtains, showing
Yes,
the behind
we
the
are.
scenes.
Yes. And sometimes we're not as classy as we appear.
There's someone
if
out
you-
there who thinks
If you never thought we were classy, then know that we're even worse
might as
than
well
you thought.
Just turn us off and listen to the next episode.
True. Here's a disclaimer. All right. So we are going to introduce some bloopers to you. Did we put these in order that we wanted them?
No, you can hop around the topics however you want. If you wanted to start with friendship, you could, or what we say but don't publish.
Okay.
Whatever.
So let's just start out with some bloopers that we feel represents our friendship for each other and our common interests and tastes. So take a listen.
So then will we play all 3 of those back to back?
I would probably have something in between. So take a listen might be the Miss You Gay or something. And then we come back through and say,
and when we lose a special friend that's been with us since childhood, this is what happens.
and we may need to each actually introduce a little something here and there to mix it up. What do you think? Okay. So then go, and this next clip shows that we just have some common experiences that when they get brought up, we all know what we're talking about. It's peace and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually going to be short to record because we are going to splice in all these nice little things.
And I'm so glad you'll be editing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. So next, we want to let you know what we do when we take little breaks between our topics, between our questions. So this next little section will give you an insight to what happens during our little breaks that we take between questions.
Wait, when are we talking
Is that the first
about
one?
it?
Is that the flush outtake?
Yeah, and Felicia. So it's very top breaks.
Yeah,
she
but
just
then I
switched-
think, yeah, I would flip flush to outtake, and then we should say something about Felicia being part of that next one. So, Chris, do you want to?
I'm really confused about what we're doing.
Okay,
I thought we were starting with friendship, but no.
we just did.
So when is it that we talk about them?
Or
Or
are we
are
going
we
to talk?
not?
Are we just going to discuss them?
Oh, I thought that's what you had said you wanted us to do. So I was
We're
confused.
I don't
just
know.
what I get the sense of is that we're just giving a sentence or two that we think about that. Like,
Well, maybe after each topic, though, maybe after we do each of the bloopers, we can say, we can talk a little bit about our friendship. So that could round out the topic. So we could do all the ones in something, and then we could be like, yeah, it's real, this friendship that we have. And talk about that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought we were going to do.
okay. What do you think about our friendship, Chris?
That only good friends would put up with my brain being all over the place.
You know what? Our brains are all over the place. I mean, that's part of
Well,
what makes us friends, is that we can connect.
I like that. We sound like real women, like, no, we're fake women. We sound like real, we sound like women really sound. If we were just sitting around in a coffee shop, we would probably get kicked out. We would go through every coffee shop in town. But yeah, like the Cloris Leachman died. We've done that. There have been so many times when some celebrity has passed away or has had happen, and we talk about it because
Yeah, we could-
that's what friends do.
We get distracted. So we do the thing that women often do, where we're talking about a subject, and then, something else happens, and we have to interject whatever that is. And not in the Cloris clip, it was the death of a woman we've known for a very long time.
And that's why so many husbands write in and say, I have such a hard time following your conversation.
Sorry.
Sorry, not
Yeah, that was
sorry.
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I think the friendship is the glue. It's challenging to do a podcast where you have 4 different people who live in 4 different states and 2 different time zones, and people have their own ministries, jobs, families. I mean, without the friendship, I probably would have bailed after the first anniversary, just to be perfectly honest. The friendship is the glue.
Well, I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, I have also told people that I think that the friendship that we have and the way that we talk about these things is kind of a model for what we would love to see women do in their communities and in their churches, in being real, authentic, supportive, and just being able to talk about issues in your life and ask questions and hear from other people. So
Yeah, we don't always agree about things, which is part of the fun.
no, you're
We
off.
model how to
wrong,
disagree.
Chris. No.
I am off the chart. Yes, I know that.
Do we want to say anything about our breaks?
Yeah, but can we say, if we did what you did before, I can splice that in, then we can do the flush outtake. And then can we say something about this, maybe Chris or Gay could say, well, this next clip was when Felicia
Yeah.
Masonheimer joined us.
Yeah.
So Chris, you want to do that, or Gay?
I can.
Do it. I forget what's in that clip. So
That's where I don't even think you
Kids
were
in the
part of that, Gay.
refrigerator.
But yeah, I was having a hot flash, and Chris had gotten something about lunch, and I don't remember what you were doing, Bonnie, but
I remember when Felicia's daughter was there, but I just can't remember what the clip's about. Okay.
Okay. This next one, this next one's a really good, sorry, my husband's talking in the other room and I'm like, what is he talking about? This next one, I think, really captures what happens in the reality. We often have to take breaks because, we're women, and then sometimes we have to go to the bathroom, and, we're virtually together. We all do that. Unfortunately, we don't have small children that need our attention, but Felicia Masonheimer was on a couple months ago, and she has a young daughter, and during our break, she needed to go check on her daughter and came back and told us exactly where her daughter had been found.
Okay.
That was too much.
And then for breaks, well, I don't know. I feel like you kind of said breaks.
Yeah, we can go on. Is that good for breaks?
Is the flush outtake obvious what it is?
I think so. Yeah, you can just do that one first. I guess
Yeah.
you will, obviously.
Yeah. As I listen, I think that I'll know what's coming.
Mm.
But yeah, you're right. This is going to be a fun one to edit.
Yeah. What did I do first? So we did friendship first, and then we did breaks. Now,
You can do what we say we don't publish, or you can do promotion
Yeah.
blunders, or we just
Yeah.
crack. I don't know.
okay. So as I was saying, if you think we're classy, and we're sorry that we're probably going to burst your bubble with this next set, which is what we say that we don't publish. We get a little sassy.
And
Yeah.
there's even more that we still cannot share with you.
Yeah. Sometimes we have some thoughts, not only about what wives should do, but maybe what husbands should do. Or not do. Okay, so that could be the give us 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anyone want to talk about 3 moves?
Okay, I will. So, on our podcast that we don't talk bad about husbands or make fun of men, but once in a while we do make a few little jokes to ourselves about things that husbands do that maybe we wish they would do differently.
That sounded so diplomatic.
Okay, you've given me enough of a break.
And anyone
the
want to
part-
say anything about women?
And then the part on women's planning, I can't remember what the funny part was. I know when I get there, I'll have to edit off the.
Yeah.
The
it's
funny
the-
part was we don't say this is how you should feel about your penis.
Yes.
Who wants to take that one?
Um,
Well,
and some, oh, go ahead.
we didn't talk about each one of the friendship ones. So if we don't have to talk about all of them, do we?
No, we're still having to introduce each clip.
I
Oh,
thought we did introduce each friendship clip.
We did.
Okay.
We're introducing each clip, and then if we have something to say about the whole set at the end, we talk
Okay.
about it.
I have no recollection. Okay.
So it goes intro to the set, and then intro to clip, intro, and then clip, intro to clip, intro to clip. Anyway, and then talk at the end if we have something else to say.
Okay.
And sometimes when we talk about men, we are actually coaching ourselves and helping to remember what we're not supposed to do.
And I think we should say at the end something like, so in all honesty, I think we are all so grateful for the good husbands out there, including our own husbands, who have been very supportive of us doing this podcast. So here's to great husbands out there, and husbands who are still learning, but willing to learn.
And I just want to give a shout out to all the husbands out there who do listen to this podcast. so that they can better understand how their wives think. Good for you guys.
And I'll give a shout out to all of you guys who are in really solid recovery and are at a place of safety where sexual reintegration can start to happen.
Yeah.
Gabe, anything to say to men?
No.
Give me 5 minutes.
Right. 5 minutes.
How about we just crack up?
Sure.
All right. Anybody want to introduce that?
I thought you were introducing all of the sets.
Oh,
and then
I
we would
am.
introduce
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Because you're hosting.
I'm host. All right. So as you can tell, as we introduce these clips, we do crack each other up. So here are our most favorite bloopers where we just are hysterical.
I think we could play those in succession, actually.
Yeah.
Not. Okay, I do
But
want
we
to
do
point
wanna
out
make-
that both of those are Bonnie being really funny.
And it
Can be
turns
funny.
out that Bonnie does have another podcast now,
But it's
although
not called Sex Ninja.
nor should it be.
That's
You
true.
want to tell us a little bit about your podcast, Bonnie?
Sure. And thank you so much, guys, for your gracious offer to let me talk about it. So I have coordinated with two other AppStats coaches, two other coaches that work with women who are undergoing betrayal trauma. And we have launched a podcast called Hope for Wives, Overcoming the Impact of Sexual Betrayal Through a Christian Lens. And the reason it's called Hope for Wives is because we always leave you with a truth of how your journey is not going to be stuck, that your journey is going to keep going forward, keep watching the Lord, and you'll get into a place of full recovery.
And where could they find that? What's the
Oh,
website?
thank you. Yeah, the website's hopeforwives.com, hope, F-O-R, wives.com. And
we'll-
we're on iTunes, Hope for Wives over
Yeah.
there.
Well, we'll link to it in the show notes.
Thank you.
And it's on my podcast app.
Aww. All right. Any?
Yeah. And speaking of promotions. Oh, and
Okay.
speaking of promotions, I thought you were going to do it. No.
Okay. And speaking of promotions, my own, we've done. So how about let's hear from Jay.
And then maybe one of us needs to say something about, and sometimes we need to promote our webinars. Actually, Gay, have you talked recently? Chris Gay?
Yes, I did. I talked about 3 moves.
That was
Well, I
way
talked-
up there.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I did my one.
you're up, Gay.
Okay, what is Jace's package? Remind me what that is about.
That's where Bonnie's trying to sell the webinars and she goes through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jay says that you can buy them in a cat package. And then she says, I said package and didn't crack
Oh,
up.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes we're not really that good at promotion. And here's a clip where we kind of crack up while Bonnie's trying to tell you about all our webinars that we did. And then Jay says something classic.
And this kind of thing happens more often than we are sharing with you here.
Hey.
Oh, I didn't mean you specifically. I just
Oh,
meant
okay.
general.
Us.
But
It's a
yes, it
cor-
often is you.
It's a corporate happens, yeah, not just
Yes.
an individual.
But it often is you.
So as we developed this podcast, we did have goals, but you'll hear that sometimes we forget.
Hey, can I say something to splice into right before what you said that, which is, and by the way, all those webinars are still available for purchase on our website. And we will include a link in the show notes to that as well. So you
can
guys,
buy them-
you ladies check them out. Huh?
You can buy them individually or as part of a package.
Okay, I'm trying to be serious when you say that.
Oh, that's so fun.
I like it. Good. Never mind.
So did we cover them all?
Does anyone want to wrap up goals?
I have nothing to say about it.
I can say what
Clearly.
what I practiced before. So yeah, it may seem like we don't have a great direction at times, but that was kind of during the last a couple of rough years. But we do have some goals, and our biggest goal is to stay here with you throughout the year, continuing to provide you good content about sex and in this virtual kitchen table setting. And if you have a question, because we do want to be responding to those as well, if you have a question, please go to our website at For Christian Wives, FORChristianwives.com, and click is it the Ask a Question button? Ask us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of those.
Have a question. Anyway, basically, it's the question button. You'll see it. And click there, and we will get the email. And we will be looking for some topics. And
we do want to reach more women this year. We're very happy with the number of women that we've reached, but we'd like to increase that. And one way you can help us is by leaving a review on iTunes if you haven't done that, because the more good reviews we get, the more our podcast is recommended to others. And also, if you would just share it with people, share it with your friends, with women at your church, with a church group. We would love for you to tell others about us so they can find our podcast too.
And I think, are there some reviews that we could read?
yeah, what?
I'm wondering, when you had business cards made, do we have enough that we could say that if anybody wants to share with others, that we can mail them up to 10 business cards?
That could get expensive, y'all.
Well, 10 would still just be a first class stamp, right? I don't know. Just anyway,
I mean, we could say the first 20 people. You know,
Okay.
and then that's 200 cards, right?
Or we could make a PDF that they can print and cut their own.
There you go. Although it is
I
cool.
like
to
that
get.
idea. Okay.
Never mind.
So the reviews. Yeah, there are a couple here I really wanted to share with everyone. And thanks to everyone who did leave one.
Yes.
One says, I have been married for just over a year. Sorry. One says, I've been married for just over a year when I wanted godly counsel on such a secularized element of life. And then she puts in all caps, y'all, these women are great. I have learned, laughed, and applied so much of this content. Even my husband will listen with me. Thank y'all so much. And another one says, I appreciate the perspective each woman brings to the conversations. This podcast is above all real and vulnerable. The candid conversations help us wives dig deeper into understanding both our own sexuality and that of our husbands. Excellent, informative podcast.
Oh, thank you, ladies.
I like the reviews. It's nice to see how
Yeah.
our chitter chatter makes a difference.
Mhm. Yeah, I think God knew what he was doing when he brought us all together.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad he did, because we sure didn't.
Yeah, he has goals, apparently.
Hashtag God's goals.
That's right. As these bloopers show, sometimes we have no idea what we're doing.
So, as a way to end this episode, why don't we go around and talk about what has changed for us in the past personally, what has changed personally for us in the past 5 years, 5 years since the week of February 14th, 2017.
I'm trying to think how old my kids were. So yeah, so they were, home and then they left. And they so had a kid graduate from college and get married, and he is settled now in another city. Had another son who launched. He is very close to graduating in May. And so we're now empty nesters, and we sold our house, moved into a 2-bedroom apartment while we're building a new house. My husband retired. I went through about a year of some weird, funky illness that we finally figured out was related to, for me, to breast implants. So that was weird. You may have heard of this thing called a pandemic. That kind of happened. So it's been a wild ride, I feel like.
Yeah.
What else?
We've
What else?
made-
I just
we-
chopped off all my hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you did.
I was gonna say, I probably should say that. As I'm, if anyone sees me in this, like, I just recently chopped off my hair and donated 14 inches to Wigs for Kids. So I
Yay.
keep reaching back and going, wow, where's all the hair?
I feel like my life is both no different at all and completely different. We made a big move a couple years ago from Wisconsin to Central Illinois to care for my father-in-law, who's actually doing very well as a result of us being here. So it was a good thing. 2 of our kids got married during this pandemic. So they both had weddings that were very different than what they would have had at a different time, but they were lovely weddings, and we had a great time at both of them. I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, so I've been learning to deal with that. And I changed the blog that I use from The Forgiven Wife to Honeycomb and Spice.
Wow.
Yeah. So some of the same things. I did not move, but I did have a child launched. I had one who was already out on his own when we started this. I had another one who, since we started, has graduated from college, graduated from grad school, moved out, bought a house, and got married.
Ooh.
So that was big. Yeah, the pandemic has been, a big part of this time. I have a regular day job, and so my day job has been in person, remote, half in person, half remote. It's, it's been kind of a lot of changes with that, but I'm happy to still have a job. So, what else? I also launched a new blog. I still have the Calm, Healthy, Sexy blog, but I also have one called the Healthy Life Toolbox, which is very similar, but I'm trying to just do like a focus on health across your whole life, your physical, relationship, spiritual, emotional, all of that for women. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Wow. Y'all have had lots of change in different ways.
Yeah. By the way, can I just mention too, Gay, you redid your office and it's really lovely.
Thank you. I did redo my office. I just did that after Christmas. My feng shui is that how you say it? Is a lot better than it used to be.
Feeling a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
Well, I just ordered a green screen today so that when I am in our unfinished attic recording, I can put something lovely up behind me instead of the cracks in the ceiling.
Mhm.
Never noticed the cracks in the ceiling. I'm just looking at your beautiful face.
Oh, aren't you sweet and wrong?
Okay,
They've been
Bonnie,
driving me nuts.
Bonnie, you've had some changes too.
I've had some changes. We've moved to 2 different states, bought and sold houses, and now we're in East Tennessee. Moved from Wilmington, North Carolina to South Florida, to near Knoxville. So that was big. And also during that time, I was going to school. I was going to Liberty University. And in December 2019, I earned my bachelor's in Christian counseling. And then from there, I went.
Yay.
Yes. It was a lifelong dream because I started out at Purdue very young, didn't quite finish that, became a mom, and then a writer. But I just always regretted not finishing my degree. And then as my life has gone on and I've seen that counseling's really been kind of my calling, that's why I did that. And then I was able to go on and get some specialized training to work with wives who are in marriages with sex addicts, and some professional coaching training as well. So now I still have Oyster Bed 7. But my new website for my coaching practice is strongwives.com. And I have office hours Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And yeah. And right now, 2 of my children have moved closer to us. And actually, they're very close in the same house. So yeah, and it's only temporary until the housing market calms down. There's just nothing to buy around here. So if you have a moderately priced home in the Knoxville area, drop me a line.
Well, your family is starting a business too, right?
Oh, yes. BLTX. I think the website is b-ltx.com, Burns Logsdon Therapeutics. And we have developed a lubricating and sexual response enhancing vaginal suppository. And we're right in smack dab in the middle of our clinical trial, quote unquote, because we're OTC. It's not FDA clinical trial. It's my own clinical trial with 33 test panelists. And the feedback has been phenomenal. So I'm just really excited to be able to launch this in a few months.
Sweet. Yeah. I realized when we went through all this, I didn't mention that I also launched the Higher Desire Wife community. So
It's true.
that happened.
And all of our new links and things will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
So anything else we want to wrap it up with? How about we wrap it up with, our favorite sex tip or.
Oh, I didn't come prepared for that.
Okay. Or favorite to bring it back around to, or a word of hope.
What if we did this? What if we said, okay, everybody, what would you say is kind of your prayer or wish for the wives who listen to us?
Okay. So as we bring this to a close, we'd like to leave you with our prayers, wishes, and hopes for our listeners. And my hope would be that you would build your friendship, because I will tell you, if Dave and I didn't have the friendship that we had, we wouldn't have survived this trial, dilemma, addiction. But it's a friendship that overflowed into the bedroom at times. But it was friendship. That's the glue. That's my wish.
Mine is that women, wait, I just had it in my head.
See, this is what happens.
Yes. To me, a lot. My wish is for women to really believe that small things over a period of time can lead to long-lasting, wonderful changes. That was what my experience was, and I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't lived it. But I just want our women, the wives who listen, if they struggle with sex, to know that change, real change, is possible.
That's good. I love the small steps idea also, but since you took that one, I'll say that my hope for our listeners is that they'll find health and wholeness in all areas of their lives, because it's very difficult to have health and wholeness in your marriage and intimacy if other areas of your life are severely stressed or out of whack in some way. So I hope that they will, just find health and wholeness in every area of life.
I think my prayer would be that the women listening to this and us as well get to a point in their lives where things feel good enough that you can be like the Proverbs 31 woman, where it says she laughs at the days to come.
That's a nice wrap.
So thank you, ladies and listeners, for joining us today. We hope that you've had a laugh or two and are inspired to keep listening and learn more as we learn more, because really we're just 15 minutes ahead of you guys.
Or less.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 steps.
Yeah. So catch us again in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Whew.
Shall I stop recording?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.